What up, everybody? Welcome to the Xcast. Right about now, we want to welcome you to the greatest podcast on earth, hosted by yours truly, the XSP. I want to hear you say Xcast. Xcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the XCast. It's been a long time since we've joined in, but we're going to keep on moving. And I don't know if anybody of you know this or not, but my dad passed away about 2 weeks ago. And this is the reason why I haven't been on. But I do believe that my dad would have wanted me to continue on doing what I was doing and continue on moving with life. And I really do want to do that. I'm not going to speak on it at length today. I might do it on another video, but just to say the least, it's been a very trying time for me. But like I said, I'm continuing to move on, and I want to advertise some shows. My brother is doing Project Restore, which is actually the whole premise of the podcast was actually based around my dad's life, him being restored by Jesus, and he's definitely talking to people who have testimonies that are very similar. And you can find that Project Restore on Spotify. Also, you can look for A Burning Hope on Spotify, and also you can look for older episodes and current episodes of the Xcast with XSP. Not only that, but I am an artist. I do music. I just put out a new single. It looks like this. It's called Call Upon My God, and it just happened to be a timely song. I wasn't going to actually release anything until I was done with the whole album, but I thought this song was timely for this situation, and it's about being right with God before time is too late. And I know that my dad was right with God when he died, and I believe it's somewhat of a tribute to him. And so go out and check it out. It's called Call Upon My God on all streaming sites. You can look for me on Spotify under the Xcast/Extreme Street Preacher. It's not slash, the dash Extreme Street Preacher. There'll be a link in the description. And today, I have a great guest. A good friend of mine helped me out during this whole time, and a very creative man himself. He goes by the name of Clado, the World Destroyer. And we're going to talk to him. We're going to talk about his albums. Like I say, he's a very creative person, and I really want to explore his mind for just a few minutes. Here we go. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome a good friend of mine, Plato, the World Destroyer. How are you, man? How's it going?
My new name is Modelo Especial.
What's going on, man? How's your day been so far?
It's good. You want one?
No, I'm good. Thanks, man.
Okay.
I want to welcome you to my show finally for the first time.
Oh, you summoned me? I'm on vacation. You summoned me? I guess I have to. You elicited the incantation that summoned Clado, the World Destroyer. Here I am. You got me.
Yeah. All right, man.
Hey, good to see you. How you doing, XSP?
Man, I've been better, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's quite a whirlwind out here.
Most definitely,
it's kind of like the eye of the storm a little bit.
Definitely is.
Maybe it doesn't feel like that. Maybe it does feel like that for you.
I'm definitely in a whirlwind for sure, but I'm definitely in the most peaceful place I can be at this time, and I'm just trying to live, man. I'm trying to get
see that would definitely be the eye. This is the middle of the storm, so it doesn't seem like our problems are going to go away anytime soon.
No,
but
it's
nice to take a little break, to chat with you. I know we might have had our trepidations about it. It's like sometimes we gotta focus on something for a minute that we're familiar with, which we're familiar with each other, and just chat. Remember some of the things that bring us a little bit of comfort.
Most definitely. definitely on the for real. If I can be real, I've been listening to a lot of your music through this time. So, because I know I'm gonna be entertained, I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna, I'm gonna be like, man, what did he just say? Check this out. So definitely, your music has brought me some entertainment, so I can keep my mind off some other things. So I
Man, I
appreciate
really
you.
appreciate that, man. And I've done the same for you. I just checked out your new song. I like the hook on it a lot. Yeah, I really like the way your mind works, and I posted about it yesterday. It's real important for me to hear you know, and you're a Christian rapper, but you have a style that's real conducive to my imagination. Whatever your message is, I'm gonna listen to it when you have heavy metal style dark chords that you're using as the bass for your beats. I'll keep this on. And that's one thing I really like about you is that and I think I do it too. I like to utilize some of the musical aspects that are interesting about dark music, and whatever the message is, you can see true to somebody's heart and somebody's mind uh, through this language of music, and so we're real simpatico like that. We like similar chord structures and sounds and ideas. But I liked your new song, "Call Upon."
Call
Was it
upon my
call up?
God.
Yeah, "Call Upon My God." I like the. I mean, it's a signature style during the verse, and I like the way the song was laid out. That the riff that you had is very heavy metal, and it's very aggressive. But if you listen to the words, he's saying "Call upon my God," and I liked how you echoed it into the background, made it real epic. That's the kind of stuff that speaks to me. So I don't know how many people out there feel the same as us, because we get a certain kind of feedback. Maybe it's not for everyone, or maybe they're just not open-minded enough to experiment with it.
Yeah, I think
But that's what I
sometimes
was
that
trying to say in
message.
my post is like it has to be interesting to me. It has to be a lot of music is very relaxing or pleasant per se. It doesn't do much for me, and I respect everyone's musicianship. I really do, to the max. All styles of music, I can appreciate it. But as far as like 90% of the time, my go-to is something mind-warping, mind-twisting that can really motivate my imagination and allow me to escape this urine-soaked hellhole that we can find ourselves in a lot. That's
That's
what I think. That's
exactly the
what you were
same way I
saying
feel.
earlier.
The same way I feel about your music is that I know I can listen to it and I know your word patterns and your some of the stuff you say. Like I call you the king of free speech because some of the stuff you
Hey,
say is like, whoa, what? Like, where did that come from? Like his mind is in a different place, and I enjoy the fact that I can listen to it and have to think for a little bit, which is anything in as far as entertainment. I like to have my mind challenged, and I think that goes along with a lot of what you do.
yeah, and I think it's good to say stuff that might make someone uncomfortable, even if you don't believe it, or maybe you do believe it, and it's a thought, and a lot of people, especially nowadays, are reluctant to share their thoughts, because there's backlash, or maybe it's not popular, or there's a lot of ugly personalities going on right now, and I feel like it's okay to, words do have power, but it's okay to play with it and call attention to something that might be uncomfortable. You can play with it just like Play-Doh. You can have fun with it. Doesn't have to be devastating to mention something. There's different ways to interpret stuff too.
Was that where your name came from? Besides the fact that your name is Clay, also, but was that kind of the thought process behind the name Play-Doh? Kind of
Well,
you
yeah,
can mold it, shape
I'm
it.
a personality jacker, so like, I'm and everyone really kind of is. It's like you're an amalgam of all the personalities that have influenced you, and so I thought about that, and I was like, man, I really don't have a personality. I'm just kind of like morphing based on who I come in contact with. And that's why it's like, you know, you can look inside and find a lot of emptiness, but you're still an affected person by the people you've been around, the environments you've been around. And so that's where the name comes from, because, you know, you can kind of like make me into what you want. And that's what you do with my music. You know, it's not always, you know, peaches and cream type music, but you take the message you want from it, you know. And that's what kind of what you got to do with life. You gotta and that message is there for you to receive. You can also make that message your own, you know. You can make that, you can play. I mean, this world is malleable. We might not have created this world, but we can affect it. We can play with it, you know. We can mold it, you know, and we can leave our imprint on it, which is like what you do, you know. You put that XSP stamp on it and show people, you know, your style. And I really like how you do it, man, because, you know, like I was saying in that post, you got to get my attention, and that's what you do. And you have a great message. You know, you're definitely a spiritual type guy. You're a man of the Lord. You're a soldier of God for sure. But you're not afraid to really attack the devil, attack him, hit him in his face. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. Oh, okay, don't want to talk about that. Well, you're not gonna defeat your problems by just ignoring them, you know. And so, you know, I've seen that theme. I love that theme that you have about putting a bullet in the devil's grill. You know, it's like, and people can say how negative that is, like it's so violent, you know. Well, it's a violent world. There's no escaping that. If a lightning bolt strikes a tree and that tree falls on an animal, you know, that's pretty violent. And it's like, you can't take someone to jail for that, you know. Or if a lion slaughters a wildebeest, pretty violent, you know. That is how was this world created? Maybe I wasn't there for that, but I'm sure it was pretty violent with these stars colliding, or if somebody's smashing stars together, you know, that's pretty violent. So it's like, that's a good way to that's a good vehicle to deliver your message. And that's why I like aggressive music like that. That's why I like your stuff. I think that's why we click so well.
Most definitely, man.
By the way, clown love, much clown love out there, everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not afraid to you know, go to the juggalos with a message of hope, and but also, like you said, there's definitely a message of, we're not going to take any more of the devil's nonsense, and taking the gates, you know, taking the battle to the gates of hell, so to speak, and definitely not afraid to do that. So hey man, I want to start talking about some of these releases that you have. But first, let's talk about the album Human Sacrifice. It's one of the things I've been jamming a lot lately, and you definitely have a lot of different creativity in there. What was the thought process of going through making that album? The lyrics, you have stuff that touches on police brutality. You have things like chilling in the studio where you're just kind of, I don't know if it's off the dome, but it's definitely very creative. What was the thought process behind that album?
It's interesting you like that. It's like my first work. And I really just wanted to have something. You know, a lot of people, and maybe they're doing it right. They want to get everything perfect. You know, that might take 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's good to have something out there that you can show to get you to the next level, you know? And so that's been my process. I release a lot of music. Sometimes it's not quite how I want it to be, but it is. There's no more real work that I can do for various reasons, you know? Life is hectic. If the song's a good song, you know, and I commend everybody that's very patient, but sometimes I just need to get that message out there. If it's a song is good, a song is good. You know, you can spend 10 billion years working on one song and it'll still not be just, you know, perfect how it needs to be. So that was my first attempt to make a project, and that was the first song on there, Human Sacrifice. and I'm dealing with these concepts like what you talked about, world destruction, Plato, death. You know, how do you interpret these things from a musician standpoint? I might not really be saying, okay, go sacrifice X amount of people to Moloch. Not trying to tell you to do that. If that's your trip, well, maybe that's you. You know, that's how I kind of confront it by using it as a vehicle to acknowledge the symbolism from my own standpoint, as opposed to just being a subject or victim of it.
One of the things
You
I
know,
like
it's a
about that
spiritual
album.
war.
I'm sorry. One of the things I like about that album is it's melodic without being overly melodic, and it's heavy without being super heavy. And like I said, there's freestyles on there. There's like the song "Mr. Policeman." Did that come from life experience or just kind of what you seen in the news? How did you come up with
Yeah,
that
you know,
concept?
at that time in my life, you know, I was trying to close chapter. You know, I spent about 10 years just in and out of handcuffs. Like I couldn't, you know, I'm sure plenty of it was just foolishness. But, you know, it get to a certain point where I just felt like I looked around me getting processed through the system. I could see, and maybe a lot of people haven't done that, but it looked like the system was very comfortable with the slavery of it. I mean, and you can say, you know, some people might need to be there and others don't. All right, and I'll get into that debate too. But at the end of the day, you know, whether those people deserve that or not, they're still experiencing slavery. You know, and I saw all races there going through it. You know, and it just made me sad to witness it and be a part of it. You know what I mean? So
Here's
I just
something
wanted
to think about. I
to
used to be a
talk
corrections
about it.
officer
Right.
for a number of years, and one of the things that I've seen in a lot of the guards there, and in contrast to myself, is sometimes they wouldn't treat the men like they were men. And one of the things that I've always known was to treat a man like a man and treat him like a human being. And that's how I tried to, whenever I went into work, didn't matter what they did, didn't matter what they were in for, whatever the case was, always treated someone like a man and
Well, there's a
respected
lot
them
of
as a man.
stigma. There's a lot of stigma in society, and that's a big problem because that's how a lot of the injustices come about. Is people get grouped into categories that they probably don't deserve to be looked at that way. And the only way to defeat that is to really judge someone based on your interaction with them. You know, a lot of people say respect is earned. I think it should be given at a certain level. You know, all these people are well created, you know, and yes, we might be designed to malfunction, but it's still one hell of a creation that deserves some amount of respect. And who am I to just take someone based off of somebody's word or somebody's labeling and go along with that without having really decided for myself? So I
No
think you're
doubt,
saying
man.
the
That's
same
one of the
thing.
things, like I said, that it doesn't matter who you are. You give them respect just because they're created by our creator, and there should, like you
All right.
said, be a amount of respect given right off the bat.
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody's worthy of God's respect, it better be worthy of mine, or otherwise that's me. That's like me saying, well, yeah, you know, uh, nah, no, God, you're wrong. I don't think he's wrong. Okay, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
And you know, for all
that's
you
very well said. If
non-believers out there, or maybe you're atheist or whatever, and then that's fine. Or you know, I can understand why you might question everything. That's good to be a skeptic because, frankly, I believe that will lead you to the truth. You know, eventually, if you keep on disproving stuff until you reach to a point where it's something you can't disprove, that's a semblance that shows you a semblance of reality. But so I know we're speaking a language that we both understand.
right.
But for somebody that might not think like that, you know, I mean, you still have to, like, okay, you still, even say you don't believe in a spirit or a soul or gods or at all, or just maybe this we are create our own reality, etc. amount of beliefs out there. You could still acknowledge that these are pretty awesome machines that are walking and talking around here. You know, you should be able to see that.
Most definitely, man.
That's
That's
basically what I'm
the
saying.
message that I try to convey in the music. That's the message I try to convey in life, and obviously we resonate on that same level because you see exactly where I'm coming from. And you also you kind of not ride the fence, but you definitely have those thoughts in your music. Where does that come from? Where does the kind of did you grow up in a church or did somebody instill that in you? Where does that
Well,
come from?
yeah, I mean, I come from the family here in Texas. They exposed me to a lot of church environment, but I was a skeptic myself. So from a very young age, I would always, kind of a contrarian, just like I'm not just gonna accept what I'm being told. And so I was doubtful the whole time up until I kind of reached my adulthood and I witnessed some things firsthand that formed my opinion about it. And that I think is a key to it. Anybody out there, might be listening, you might feel how I described earlier. Well, someone's got to prove something to me for me to see it. Okay, that's fine. But consider this. Not everyone can be just stupid. So if everyone is coming to these similar agreeing viewpoints on their own, through their own experiences, that's got to mean something. Okay, no one's telling them to do that, and I understand there's institutions that push agendas, and I get that. But if you are seeing something that people are telling you is not real, and other people are seeing the same thing, no one's telling you you're not had a conversation with them, haven't met them before, but they're telling you they're seeing the same thing. Eventually, you stop questioning, I'm not crazy as much as these people are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Other people might not be looking for it or might not be trying to accept it. So that's one point I wanted to come back to about what we've been talking about. People have their beliefs. They might think there's no God or there's a God, right? And you might kind of be born into one mentality. Okay, we're a church family, but I kind of got disenchanted. All right. Or we were what's the word? Or we're just kind of non-spiritual people. But if you notice, if somebody decides they want to be atheist, or if they grow up in an atheist environment, if any of those people become believers on their own, they never turn back. They don't ever change their mind again. Once somebody has that revelation or epiphany where they decide, oh yeah, I'm going to start believing in the spiritual world because I can't deny it anymore, they never change their mind again. Now, if somebody might have been born into a more spiritual type group of people and they were skeptical and they chose to, only believe whatever's been proven to them, they kind of didn't get experience something. But those people, they might change their mind. But once they change their mind for themselves, they don't change it back. Once you become a believer on your own, they never change their mind. You can get disenchanted if you might have been grown up in an environment or something like that. And, there's a certain amount of manipulation in that environment as well. But that's what I would say to people, like, when you have a hard time believing something that hasn't been proven to you, okay, aliens, different dimensions, the earth is round or the earth is flat. You're not really, you might not be able to settle on anything unless you see it with your own eyes. But you could just look around you and look at all the people that have gone through these journeys on their own. They don't change their mind again. That's got to tell you something. And I was sitting around the other day with a group of atheists, and they came on some anime, and there was an animated devil. with fire and everything in there. And I turned to him, I said, so that's not, you don't think that's real? They're like, nah. They just totally dismissed it. I thought to myself, well, if you saw that in your experiences one time, you would never ever question that again, So just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not real, So it's like a lot of people have to see it to believe it, but to me, that's a bad way to go about it, because you might not want to be in that position where it just kind of gets dropped on your lap, and now you got huge culture shock. I've never seen a great white shark in person. I don't want to be just dumped in the water and there's sharks swimming around me to go, oh, I believe you now.
Right. You don't want to believe when it's too late. That's kind of the thing about that. The thing I put out is that why do you want to wait until you're on your deathbed to believe in something? I believe that you should set yourself on that journey before that happens. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about is how I came to Jesus. And it wasn't because somebody kept telling me. I had to know for myself. And there was a time where I felt like God put his arms around me and I couldn't fight him no more. And I've had that experience and I've never turned back since. It's been over 20 years. And
that's what I'm trying to say is that you had such a powerful experience.
What's that?
There's no one that you had such a powerful experience. There is no one that is going to change your mind. Like, you've been steadily pushing that viewpoint that from your experiences is true. No one is going to be able to, with any amount of logic or reasoning or empirical data, convince you of what you experience. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
No, most definitely. And that's the reason why I haven't turned back. And that's the reason why nothing can shake me. Not even death. Honestly.
Yeah, well, you're unbreakable, and death, it does shape a lot of people. But I try to play the, lack of a better word, devil's advocate with every situation. When you're feeling sure about one thing, just entertain the idea of other ways to look at it, because there is a certain amount of malleability to this reality, and death is one thing that I try to find comfort in it. When I lose a loved one, I really choose to be celebratory, because it's a tough thing, because it's a certain amount of loss. But I really look at it like a game, because I feel like when people go to that spiritual world, they get so much more ability. Like, we're so constrained in these bodies. I can't reach out and hug you right now, right? We're in a different part of the world. In the spirit world, boom, right there. I can look at you. I can see what you're doing. I could protect you or whatever it is. That's kind of a powerful ally to have, And so, I would definitely say that to you with the situation you're dealing with, and a lot of people are dealing with that. Me, I know when I lost my mom, that was difficult, but I felt like, all communication problems vanished, because we have such a limited viewpoint here in this physical world. When you're not constrained by a physical body and, opinions that are based on, experience, not so much reality, feelings, emotions that get in the way of more reality, you can really be supportive. You can really be see someone's, without attempting to walk a mile in someone's shoes. You could really walk a mile in someone else's shoes. You got the time to do it and the ability to do it. So I hope that's comforting for somebody.
Most definitely, man. Like, just you being here with me on this podcast, man, seeing a familiar face. I haven't really talked to anybody for 3 weeks, and definitely helps.
Well, I appreciate you, man. It feels good for me too, and I'm glad you chose me to experiment with. It's real brave of you, something like that could really send me into a dark place. But that's real. You have the right idea how you kind of make a little bit of progress here with these projects, continue what my mission is, and continue to honor and respect those before me. Keep on pushing even if you don't feel like it. You know, making little tiny steps, basically what you can do each day, something. That stuff is totally accounted for. You know, you get credit for it. You might not get a paycheck for it. The payment is going to be received. You know, your karma, your standing with the galaxy. You know, some of us get paid in emotions, or it might be, you know, I'm playing outside right now with my daughter and there's a kiddie pool. That's money to me. You know, I can't put a price on that. You know, I must have done something right somewhere, you know.
All right, man, let's transition into the next album, Lost in Austin. Looks like this. One of my favorite ones is Paper Cut from my rhyme book. Where did that song come from, or what was the thought process behind Lost in Austin?
Well, that's another project. See, that's around the time, that was the 2016 project. That's around the time I started hooking up with the Juan, Criminal Connected. He's made a lot of my beats. He's produced a lot of my songs, really shaped me as an artist a lot. And that was one song I wanted to do with him. I thought it was a real live beat. It had a good kind of boom bap style, a little bit slower tempo. I like songs like that. It opened up for a little bit of creativity with the lyrics, and I just felt like, you know, that's a simple concept to build on. Paper cut from your rhyme book, you know, because it's like if they're saying the pen is mightier than the sword, then surely whatever you write with that pen you might get guillotined by one of these leaflets from this Mead notebook paper.
See, one of the things I like about your music is you take concepts like that and then you put them in your head, and they come out the way you think. And you, like I said, the way you think is definitely, it's not out there. That's not the right word for it, but it's creative. And you can take a concept and really flesh it out as far as lyrically.
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Different.
There's a lot of people, they do have that mantra about words have power, so don't say something that maybe is not true, or don't. Man, yeah, I get that, and there's truth to that for sure. But you know, that's just always been presented to me, and that's how I've interpreted things. It's like coming from a family of musicians and always being interested in art, always trying to do art. I realized that my gift was with words. And so that's what I wanted to use as a paintbrush to paint pretty pictures. Okay, and so that's what poetry is about. You know, it's like, it's not even so much what you're trying to say or how you say it. It's the beauty of how the words flow. And that's your paintbrush. You know, as an MC, as a lyricist, you know, and so think of a painter that they might paint something that they don't agree with, you know, or it's like, okay, say for somebody that wanted to paint something a little bit unsettling or whatever it was, something uncomfortable, and I can think of a few things and I won't mention it, but it's just another way to display God's creation, you know.
Definitely, I know you look at things from a different angle than most people. Where did the alien concept come from? Is that kind of the
well, there's no concept, you know. I'm out here, you know, not all of us have a home world to go to. You know, some of us are refugees here. You know, there's a lot of people out here. You know, if you've been to the Mos Eisley Cantina, that's what it really is. You know, you might see, you know, black person, white person. Hey, baby, how you doing? You got Flipper? Or you might see a dolphin, or you might not see a dolphin, but they're really there. Okay, you don't have to believe me. It's really there. All these different creatures are out here being represented, and their communication is just as valid as ours. What's up? Oh, you need a mermaid? Okay.
Most definitely, man, and I do enjoy again the way that you think. Let's look at this called God versus Satan. This album
Let me go get this
has a lot
mermaid.
of kind of spiritual elements, I would say. You
I'll be
have
right back.
songs like Jesus Saved, even Slitting Their Wrists. Where did this concept come from, God versus Satan? Do you feel like that's kind of something you battle with daily, or where did the concept
Yeah,
album
I
come
mean, it's
from?
kind of a regrettable album title. I mean, the songs are good, but you know, it's just a little bit of shock value there. I just wanted to do something that was like the ultimate battle, you know, which and I don't know if it certainly seems like kind of God has rigged the game for him to win, which is cool with me. But you know, if you're thinking about what's the most entertaining like celebrity death match, to see God and the devil duke it out, I would want to watch that from an artistic standpoint. And you know, there's more duality to it. I think there's a bit of duality to everything in life. There's always another side, like I said, that you might maybe have not considered. Aha, I got the mermaid. I got a mermaid now.
So hey man, on this album you have a song called Pine Box. Tell us about that collaboration with Pennywise and how did that come about? You also have a music video.
Yeah, the video came out real good. Pennywise, yeah, he's from a dimension that's closer by to Claytonia, planet Plato. So it was a natural. You got it back? Okay. It was a natural kind of we gravitated towards each other, you know, lyrically. I always liked a lot of East Coast stuff. Him being from Queens, we clicked a lot. That's a good vehicle for a lyricist is East Coast beats. I feel like, you know, and there's people that do it, you know, on whatever kind of beat. But I feel like the 4/4 tempo East Coast style beat is the easiest to use as a vehicle to tell a story, or at least in my mind, because I kind of grew up listening to East Coast style beats. You know, you're not as constrained by a certain amount of speed that you have to go to. You ready to try this? No? You don't want some watermelon?
I definitely like
You're
this
missing
song.
out.
I like this song live, man. It really hits hard through the speakers and that kind of idea of I leave the soundproof booth looking like a pine box, and it's almost like an ultimate battle song, like you were talking about. Kind of has that weight
Well,
to it,
me
like
and
kind of.
Pennywise, man, if you listen to the songs we do together, it seems like we're battling each other every time, which is cool and it's fun too. But you know, if you ever consider that when you do step into that soundproof booth, it's just you and the microphone. There's no escaping it. It closes behind you. I like to lock the door. Comes back out. I'm not trying to let myself escape from what I want to do. A lot of things get exposed when you're in that microphone. So I just kind of realized one day, like, damn, how much different is it getting into a coffin than it is getting into a booth? You know, because even then, and that's where the name World Destruction comes from. Because you know, when you change your mind, when you evolve, or if you change someone else's mind, that's an entire world that no longer exists. That world was destroyed. A whole new world exists now based on what you know, how you're now interpreting reality. So there is very little difference between a pine box, a coffin, and a booth, because you change when you record, you know, and you might change other people when you record. And so that's the symbolism. You listen to the song and be like, oh man, they're just talking about, like, you know, cutting people's head off and eating cereal out of their skull and stuff. But well, is that what we're talking about? Maybe we can find out. You know, could it be symbolism? I don't know. Take it how you want it. Play-Doh.
All right, man. Let's fast forward to Freddie versus Jason for the was it the United States of America? I can't remember the entire title. but the
Yeah,
next
that's it.
album is a Freddy versus Jason. Where did that come from? You kind of adopted a character, if you will, in the president of the United States, which is Donald Trump at this time. Uh, where did
Well,
that
no,
come
I see
from?
now. There's others too. Obama makes an appearance on there. If you listen to the full song, "How Many Throats," there's a song on there. It's called "How Many Throats." Beats by Ruler Y. When you get to it, you'll find a dinner party featuring Obama and Trump and some of the other presidential candidates. So it's really not just all about Trump, but he's fun to play around with just because he doesn't seem to have much of a filter. People like that are always fun. Don't always get along with them, but it's like you always want to have somebody like that at your party because people are kind of uptight. So what if somebody might just say something totally inappropriate? Oh, okay, well, it just kind of gets the conversation going. So I thought that was kind of the best things about him getting elected. I knew that the sketch comedy would be really good, and it has been. I mean, it's comedy gold, So we'll see. We'll see how
Okay,
this
but I'm getting a lot of
stacks
wind.
up.
Can you lift up your phone a little bit? That way I kind of hear you a little better.
You hear me? Any better?
Yeah, I think so. Just kind of hold it up a little bit more.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So yeah, man, this is definitely the album I think that I really discovered you on, or that we kind of met each other. And I'll tell the story when we first met each other. I thought you were just a fan. I didn't realize that you were an MC. I didn't realize 'cause you kind of came at me like kind of like
Just a fan. I mean, there's
very friendly.
yeah.
But then I saw you get on stage and you started rapping all these wild lyrics, and that's when I discovered that you were more than just a fan, obviously. But I think
Okay, man.
anybody
Well,
who's
that's
a
I
fan
mean
of
that's the
music lets
thing, and
people know.
I would never say just a fan because the fans are really, I mean, they're the ones that make the music beautiful. They are
No
the
doubt.
music. But I know for
Um,
me, I'm really kind of a humble guy. Now I might talk a lot of big stuff on the microphone. When you see me on stage, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth. And a lot of people have it the other way around. Right? They're real jerks in real life, just obnoxious jerks, idiots. They're just obsessed with basically the spotlight, or they just don't really. They're kind of self-absorbed. Then you get to see their music, and it's just weak. It's just like, I mean, if you're gonna make it all about you in real life, then you better have the best music in the world. And I'd like to be the opposite of that. I'd like to try to be a nice guy if I can, humble, approachable, and if I'm gonna slice someone's head off, let me do it on stage or in the microphone booth. And I think you're the same way. Like, you're a very generous person. You always have time to hear people what they have to say. You actually listen to them, and we got to do these things. And so, like, some of the uglier sides of my personality, I like to save that for the art. And that's another thing. So I mean, everyone needs to have that pressure release valve. So it's good, when you can express some of the different parts of your personality that aren't so palatable. And it might be sports. You might slam dunk on somebody right in their face. It's not nice. It's still art, and that's part of the rules of the game. You can do that just because steal the ball, slam dunk it right in their face.
I'm getting a lot of wind. I don't know if you can kind of adjust that microphone. Sorry, again. All right. Hey, so you have a single out there. You have a video for "Lie to Me." Tell me about the concept of that song.
Well,
And
yeah,
basically everybody lied to me.
much love to you, XSP. I mean, everyone did lie to me, and that's part of more of the duality. Is like within every truth, there's a kernel of a lie. Within every lie, there's a kernel of a truth, and that's how ambiguous words are. So that's why I was trying to say that. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you want me to fix that? Don't cry. Look, it's just... Oh, well, he's gone now. Is that okay? Yeah. You know what, man? I gotta get going here. I really appreciate you. You know, that's the thing I would say is if you're watching this, if you want to see what I'm talking about, look up Claydo, the World Destroyer, CLAY-DOH, the World Destroyer. Everyone lied to me. That's the video. I'm looking forward to some new releases with you. I know we have a couple songs I thought sounded real good. I can't wait till they come out. You know, I really can't.
I know, man. I'm just waiting on some other parties, and you know how it goes as far as that without putting anybody out there. But definitely thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. And also anybody out there listening, my boy has a book, and that I think is great. I think I was the first one to read it, honestly, and I think it's wonderful, very creative.
Well, let's dump it out and put some more water in there.
What's the book called again?
Oh, it's called The Ordeal.
The Ordeal.
The Ordeal by Claydo, the World Destroyer. It's on Amazon. It's called Part 1 Freeney. That might help you look it up. F-R-E-E-N-E-Y. Part 1 Freeney.
And there's also a new album that just came out called The President of ATX, I believe, right?
Yeah, ATX President.
ATX
yeah, I'm working on a new one, and it's right up your alley. It's called Escape from Hell. I'm hoping that'll come out soon.
Hey, you think that's funny? Huh?
Yeah, no, it's just a couple. This is a 3-song EP.
Throw another one on there. Put me on it.
All right.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. I know you're with your daughter. Yeah. Thank you very much, man, for giving me.
Thank you. It was good to take a little break and say hi to my brother in Christ.
No doubt. All right, brother.
Much love to you. Keep your head up. Call me anytime. I know you've been overcome. And I know you're more spiritually enhanced now than you were previously. So it's a win, you know. And as much as we've been worrying this year, and there's plenty to worry about, somehow we've made it this far. A lot of people didn't think we would, you know. So as dark as it is, as the future might seem, there's no choice but to put one foot forward. Just put one foot forward anyway, and otherwise, I mean, you give yourself a chance for things to get better. I mean, coming from someone who's dealt with plenty of darkness in their lives, it won't get better. You know, it's not gonna get better on its own very quickly. But just hanging in there out of spite, even. You know, this world wants you to give up. Hang in there out of spite. You might get rewarded. Give yourself that chance to get rewarded, at least.
Most definitely, man. All right, well, I appreciate you. I will see you down the road, brother. Thank you very much.
Much love to you. I'll talk to you soon. God bless XSP.
Yes, sir. Awesome.